Should I go? I can go over here, right? Is this better for you? Is this okay? I'm good, right?
No, you're good. You're perfect.
All right. So let me just. I'm having like flashbacks to all the professors. All the professors that were like, oh wait, this language is bad. Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Myriam. I am a registered dietitian. I actually graduated from Brooklyn College. I'm so happy to be here and provide information and give you guys some feedback on the top 5 things I wish I knew before graduating. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I did my dietetic internship at Stony Brook University, which I loved. I am currently a renal dietitian, so I work with dialysis patients. I have 5 years of clinical experience, 3 in a hospital, and 2 in outpatient. And it's funny because I was always interested in community nutrition, which I still love, still my passion. And I never really knew I'd like clinical until I started my dietetic internship, and now here I am. I got stuck. I love it. I love clinical, so it's really funny. So the top 5 things that I wish I knew. The first thing I wanted to really bring to your attention, can you see that little screen? The first thing I want to talk about is how small of a world it is. I want you to really understand that as someone who is in your program, it's so important to network with each other and establish relationships now. And when I say it's a small world, it is a very small world. Our field is definitely a small field where you are bound to run into your professors, you're bound to run into your classmates, even as you switch jobs or go into other fields, you are bound to see each other. And it's definitely a great opportunity for you to try to make connections now. And this plays a huge role in finding a job later on. It's not only with your professors, with mentors, but also other students, right? Because all of us get accepted into internships at different times. All of us network differently. So, we all have different opportunities and strengths, and if you make friendships along the way, it's a great way to share those things. An example of this, just to give you a little inside story, is my first job as a registered dietitian was actually recommended. I was recommended by a Brooklyn College graduate who was in RD before I was, and she was leaving her position as a clinical dietitian. And she thought of me right away. She was just like, you'll be perfect for this position. You're familiar with the community, with the culture, and you have a great personality, and absolutely I would recommend you. And it was that network of knowing people who she knew the opening was there. She put in the reference for me, and that's how I ended up at my position at my current facility. So definitely network now. And it's kind of funny because we tend to think, what is it that we can really offer each other? We're all students, but we all have different passions in the field. You might be interested in something related to sports nutrition. You might be interested in geriatric nutrition. The other person might be interested in maternal nutrition. Someone might be interested in becoming an entrepreneur. So you never really know where the roads are going to lead. So it's definitely a good time to network now. Something else I wanted to mention is that we all need a friend. So I want to mention this and highlight this because I wish I had known how important having a mentor is while you're in school. And in a way, I did learn it along the way, but it was really through like a blessing because I had a professor who ended up being a really good mentor of mine, and he always pulled me into projects that were related to nutrition, even though he was a chef. He would say, oh, Myriam, I'm working on this ethnic animals cookbook. Come along, do this workshop with me, or work on this project with me, or hey, I heard of this opportunity to work as like, I don't even remember what the position was, but some job that he got me to work at a college, and I was like, okay, fine. Like, who doesn't need money? Like, let's do it. So it was great, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have a mentor that is a professor. You can intern and volunteer different places, and the person might be the person who interviewed you to be an intern. The person that you're working with, collaborating while you're volunteering. So you really do want to build those relationships with professionals in the field. And one thing that I have to admit that I didn't do that I kind of wish I'd done when I was a student was join A&D, the student group. The reason why is because you can join the practice groups and go to their meetups and their talks and things like that and learn about their opportunities in terms of like scholarships, which I never really even had. And there are also new networks to join, like Diversified Dietetics, which is a fairly new nonprofit organization that really focuses on providing resources to diversify the field, which if you didn't know, now you know. It's a field that really lacks diversity, and yet we serve all types of communities. So their focus is really to provide the information so that you can be successful. So they had a webinar, actually they had a podcast on how to interview for the dietetic internship, how to apply, and they interviewed the director, so it's kind of like an inside scoop, so it was very helpful. I find their resources very good, and even just the people who join the group, who discuss their their experiences, it's very helpful to be able to have that area of safety where you can discuss how you're feeling about the field as a student. And of course we're in, yes?
What is A&D?
Oh, so A&D, so the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics.
Oh.
Yeah, A&D, yeah. So everyone says the Academy, and before it was the ADA, and all these types of, it was just, so now that's what it's called. So of course it's 2019, and everyone is doing IG, or definitely social media is the platform, and I have to say, I am really not a big social media person, but, and definitely you can attest to that, but I started an IG specifically to network with other dietitians in the field, and it's been such a wonderful resource. I get to kind of meet different dietitians that are in different specialties, and I can see what they're up to. I recently went on a trip to Morocco with Food Heaven Made Easy, and they did like a nutrition workshop, and it was like a culinary experience, and so you can really get to know what other dietitians are doing. Like for my page, I'm trying to share knowledge about renal nutrition, but also always talking about culture and healthcare and things like that. So definitely try to follow your favorite dietitian, find them on IG, that's my information. And let's talk about cultural competency. So I'm not sure if this has changed since I graduated. I feel like I kind of looked it up online to look at the syllabus, or not the syllabus, to look at the required courses you guys are taking, and I think it is something that has changed. When you're in your classes and you're learning about macronutrients, micronutrients, it's very science-based, but we don't really fully, truly acknowledge how important it is to be respectful of people's cultures, of understanding the importance of different cultural foods, of how this affects different people and how you give them information. And it's something that you learn along the way, but it really is one of the key points to building patient rapport. So if I had to think of, I was thinking this morning, what's a good example? Okay, so if you're talking to someone who eats curry, right? Like they have a lot of curry seasoning and things like that, and you're discussing low sodium restrictions. That's actually a really good conversation to have, and it's fun because they already use so many different spices. So if you know anything about curries and cultural foods that use curries, you can always express the fact that, you use all of these different actually help so that you can avoid having that high sodium intake because the food still has a lot of flavor and you don't have to go out and buy foods, right? And so the sodium content of what you're making at home is actually probably better than anything you can buy outside at a restaurant. And then you may share some recipes, and that might actually be very beneficial, and it kind of establishes a rapport with your patient. If they mention something that they have for breakfast and they name it by its cultural name, and you know it, it's like, oh, she knows about whatever food it is, and that actually can help you so that they are more likely to accept advice, right? And so it's very important for you to take advantage of the diversity on campus, talk to different people in your program, what kind of foods do they like, what kind of cooking styles do they use to prepare their foods, and this will help you in the future. So we had not institutional food. What did we have? I feel like I don't remember.
Institutional food.
Yeah, institutional foods was a class, but we also had another class.
Foods of diverse population.
We didn't have that class.
Oh.
Okay, we didn't have that class. So I think I was looking up the courses that you guys take now for the major, and I saw that class, and I was like, thank God. Because it's so important. I can't tell you how many patients I've had that actually told me, I feel like I can accept advice that you give me because you know about my foods. Me personally, like, if you come to me and you say anything bad about plantain, like, you already started off at the wrong foot. So you have to kind of be respectful of people's cultures and understand their cuisine and kind of just be willing to learn. So I think that if you know this before you graduate, or if you take opportunity of your diversity before you graduate, you really get to embrace it during your internship, and you can put that front row center when you're giving nutrition education. So let's talk about money. So your dietetic internship is the point of stress for every single nutrition student that is interested in going on to become a registered dietitian nutritionist. And it is a financial cost. There are very few scholarships, but there are scholarships available. And thank God that there are now organizations that kind of tell you what to do to get accepted. Not really no one talks about what to do if you're not accepted. So I wish that I had known that there is a life if you don't get accepted into a dietetic internship, and I wish I knew the actual financial costs, right? So I have no problem sharing the cost of my dietetic internship. Like I said, I went to Stony Brook University for my DI, which I love. I love their program. There are some pros and cons because I had to live in Long Island for the 10 months of the program, which was challenging, and cost of living and things like that. But I remember when I was researching internships, the cheapest one was probably like a food service company like Sodexo, and I think it was $8,000. And I think the highest cost was about $15,000. But that was as far as I was looking. Because over $15,000, like, we just have to stop the conversation. So $12,000 was the cost. About $12,000 was the cost for Stony Brook's internship. And like I said, if I had known that the academy had some student scholarships, I would have applied to them because I didn't know. I didn't apply. And in terms of getting accepted, I mean, I'll get into that a little bit later, but I do want you to know that if you're not accepted, there are places where you can work as a nutritionist. You are not allowed to work as a registered dietitian nutritionist unless you have, you're either RD eligible, meaning you did your internship and you're ready to sit for your test, or you already have your registration as an RD. So those jobs are obviously higher paying, they're usually in hospitals, but you can work as a nutritionist in other settings. Like what I did, I have to admit, I didn't apply for the internship right after graduating. One, because I needed to save money after I researched the cost. I definitely wanted to save some type of money because because I'm really anti-debt. So I didn't feel comfortable walking into that kind of debt, knowing that I also have to pay for car expenses, rent, food, right? So I wanted to work. And I did work with the Department of Health, New York City Department of Health. They had a really great program at the time, Stellar's Farmers Market, where they hired me as a nutritionist, and I would go to the different communities, different farmers markets, and do nutrition education. They actually paid me as a consultant, and the money was really good compared to my other jobs. So I worked as a nutritionist doing that, and it was kind of like seasonal work, so we would work at the farmers market during the summer, and they had a winter market, and I would also work with them in the winter market. I was lucky. But then also once you're in there, like other programs have availability. So I would work with the Green Card program, and it would help me earn money as I was going. Then I also had my side job, which it all allowed me to save some money. So although I did have to incur some debt, it wasn't as large as what I would have incurred if I did not have those jobs. So also another thing is WIC. WIC will hire you, from what I understand. It's been a while since I looked at their criteria, but they will hire you as a nutritionist, and you will work alongside a registered dietitian. So then that will help you also earn some income that way while you're waiting to get accepted into your program. So research isn't just for recent trends, right? So what this means is that you do need to allocate some time to research the cost of the programs, how you're going to pay for these programs, and you have to know there are different programs available. So first of all, I want to highlight that a master's degree will be required by 2024 for you to even get hired, to become a registered dietitian and to be hired at a facility. So that seems like it's very far from now, but it's not that far off. And this doesn't mean that you need to get your master's right away, but I want you to understand that although if you become an RD before this, you get grandfathered in, but you do need to know that when you're applying for jobs, people with their master's already will be applying for the same jobs. So just so that you have the idea, total 100% transparency, I have my bachelor's. So I didn't need to have a master's to get my job, right? So I have my bachelor's, I am a registered dietitian, and I work a clinical job, right, in a hospital with the union. So I have a very stable, good-paying job, and I didn't require a master's. However, going forward, like I said, when you apply for other jobs in other facilities, you will be going up against people who have their master's. So this is something to keep in mind. That being said, review the salary per field. What is it? There's the handbook, something, I should have looked this up before I came. There's this handbook online where you can compare salaries in different fields. So you can look up how much an average salary for a community dietitian versus a clinical dietitian versus someone who's in private practice. But keeping in mind, if you're in private practice, it really depends on you, right? So what you're earning. So that can fluctuate. It also depends on how many years you've been practicing, what field you're practicing in. So it can fluctuate. And like I said, price after different dietetic internships. And you can review different types of internships. There are distance programs where I think they tend to be a little bit more affordable, but you have to find your sites. And that's a challenge because let me just speak clearly, as a clinical dietitian in a hospital, usually if I have any interns, it's going to be through a program that has an affiliation or some type of relationship with my director, right? So just random people saying, hey, I want to do my rotation with you, like it becomes more work for me than it is if you were already to have a relationship with my director and I just teach you what I need to teach you and they figured out the paperwork on their own. So keeping that in mind, the people that have done distance programs, that's their challenge, finding actual sites that will take them on, that will allow them to intern with them and obtain the hours. So you need to know that for sure. Then there's the conventional program, which is the dietetic internship alone. which is what I did with Stony Brook. I did their dietetic internship alone, and that's not in combination with the master's, right? So since it wasn't in combination with the master's, I didn't have to pay for that. I paid for the internship by itself. However, we go back to the first point up here, personal loan versus student loan. Because it wasn't connected to a master's, I wasn't able to apply for a student loan, which has much better interest rates than a personal loan. So now, you don't need to be an economics major to know when they're charging you more money, right? So if they're charging you more money to have a personal loan, so more interest, versus something that's a student loan, it might be worth you looking into, hey, what programs are connected to a master's that I can take so that when I apply for a loan, it's covered, the internship is covered. So that's a big point that I wish I had known. Because then I might have said, you know what, let's just knock out the master's now, and it would have been a little bit better, at least in terms of planning, at least in terms of your money. So the last thing I wanted to talk about, which I'm sure all of you have experience in your time of being a student, is really understanding. I wish I had drilled it into my head that I was a good candidate. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was a good candidate totally on my own accord. I had volunteer experience. I had all the things I needed to have to get into an internship. But what I noticed is that throughout the entire time that I was a student, all you kept hearing was, oh my God, the internship is so hard to get into. Oh my God, it's so expensive. No one ever gets in. It's competitive. Oh my God, you'll never this, you'll never that, you'll never, or it's so hard, or it may be hard, but it's not impossible. And you have to remember that in our field, there are so many different ways to apply nutrition and turn it into a job. I have a friend who's a registered dietitian who went on to make apps for tube feeding, makes really good money. I have another friend who is an entrepreneur, and like I said, she has her own online business, and she does workshops, and she even organizes with her business partner. They organize, trips and cuisine trips and food explorations and all these wonderful things. And so all of us have a unique perspective. We all can contribute something to the field. And so anyone who's telling you how you won't get in, this is the best time to cut them off. Professor or not, okay? I 100% also want to say that I heard some of that from professors without them even looking at my transcript, right? So I don't know what your issue was, because I definitely got in. But to be honest, the people telling you this sometimes, it's not really with your best interest. And you have to get that negative talk out of your head. You are obviously here, you are studying, you're doing your classes, you're worthy. And to be completely honest, our field needs way more perspectives. We don't have that many minorities in our field. We need more minority groups. We don't have that many males. We need more men. We really need to have a more inclusive field and people working in the field to really address the issues we're addressing in different communities. So you have a lot to offer. So trying to think of that when you're getting your personal essay ready is something that can be the biggest challenge, but it should be something that you keep in the back of your head, that you're worthy enough, that you'll get in, and that you have a lot to offer. So those are the things that I wish I had known when I was a student. And I'm very happy to be here. I'm glad that you guys invited me. I just wanted to also end this with a few resources. If you wanted to read more about the graduate degree requirement that's on there, cdrnet.org kind of gives you the idea of what to do after your dietitian, what's required for you to maintain your registration. Diversified Dietetics is the organization that I was recommending for all students, really, who are interested in having a little more guidance and resources. And also they have a mentorship program. So if you were interested in that as well, that's a great resource. Eatbright.org is the AMD. I'm just laughing because if it's not, I need the raw acronym, you're for other reasons. And then nutritioned.org dietetic internship is actually a really good resource that explains the dietetic internships but also lists them, right? So if you're at a point right now where you're like, I need to research what program to apply to, this is the first link you should go to see what is offered in New York. And they do specify if it's coordinated or if it's a distance program. Like, they'll let you know. And, I'm sure you'll have other workshops on how to find the right internship for yourself and all of those things. But I found that website so helpful as an RD. But what I really needed was that website as a student. So I wish you all the best of luck. I hope that you come to the workshops and that you get the knowledge that you need to become that wonderful RD that you all are meant to be.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Anyone have any questions? Like, I'm open to whatever you guys want to know. I'm honest, which I feel like
we appreciate that.
Yeah. Which I feel like, generally speaking, most RDs will be very honest with you about the field. So, do you guys have any questions, any concerns, anything you feel like you wanted to know as students or that I might not have covered? Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering, what's the difference between registered dietitian and registered nutritionist?
Oh, so
Is there a difference? Maybe there's no difference.
So registered dietitian nutritionist is a new title that we can use, but it's the same thing as registered dietitian. So really, you still have to do your internship. You take your exams, so you still go through the same process. So there's really no difference. It's just what happened was that they added the nutritionist part because it was realization that most people can relate to what a nutritionist does, but not a lot of people know what a dietitian does, even though it's very similar. Nutritionist, however, is not an RD, so they don't have the same qualifications. They didn't take the test, but they can still, so they may have gone to school, they may have put in the time, put in the classes, but they're not recognized as registered dietitian nutritionists or registered dietitians. So when it comes to actual jobs, some jobs won't hire you with just being a nutritionist. So that's a very key point because the more stable jobs, the jobs that have the better income, the better salaries, the more benefits, it's an RD position. It's not going to be really like a nutritionist position. So that's an important part.
And that doesn't mean like after you graduate, say with the undergrad or even a grad degree, you're still not an RDN. You're just a nutritionist at that point.
Right. You can get hired as a nutritionist, yeah, right. But you won't be an RD.
Because you'll need to take the exam and also take the internship in order to take the exam.
Yeah, there's no loophole. Trust, I researched this when I was a student. You have to do